Let's be honest, anime materials are some of the most confusing things to make in Blender. They look super flat and simple in anime, but when you try to recreate them, nothing feels right. Either it's too realistic or it just looks like plastic. I used to think it was just about slapping Toon Shader and calling it a day, but that never gave me that real anime feel. But after experimenting a lot, I realized it's all about layering, stylized shadows, hand painted textures, just the right amount of noise, and most importantly, knowing what not to do. So today, I'm going to walk you through how I made this material. Before we jump in, I've already prepared a blend file for you to make things easier. It includes the placeholder mesh, a camera setup, and the reference image we'll be using throughout the tutorial. You can download that file using the link in the description. It's totally free and it helps you follow along step by step without getting lost. And if you just want the final result with the finished shader already applied, you'll find that a version over my Patreon. Plus, as a Patreon, you'll also get early access to new videos, exclusive add-ons, anime style material packs, and everything else I'm cooking up. That's honestly the best way to support the channel and help me keep making content like this. Also, thank you guys so much for 8,000 subscribers. I seriously appreciate every one of you, your comments, likes, DMs. It all means a lot to me. Alright, let's open up Blender and get started.
Okay, just super quick, I'm going to explain to those people who are going to get this blend file or this material how they can work with it and what is the settings. And yeah, so anyways, you'll get this blend file and also you will get this lens flares, this awesome lens flares. I'm not affiliated or sponsored or anything, but those are super high quality, customizable, and amazing. Procedural, they are procedural, guys. They are super procedural. You know, like there is no like pixelating or anything. They work seamlessly, super fast. They are super lightweight and amazing. Thanks to the creator who gave me access to this awesome, amazing lens flares. So yeah, let's continue. I'm just going to jump into the 3D viewport so we can see super close. So as you can see, this is how the material looks like. I'm just laggy a little bit because I'm recording. You know, this stuff happens to me a lot. So yeah, first thing first, in the material group, you can see the base color A and base color B, which is your variation of the colors. So you can see like gray, dark gray, something like this, and you have the color variation scale, so you can scale up the colors a little bit, and also the color detail. So if you want it to be detailed or not, okay, there's the roughness scale. So if I see from this angle, so you can see the roughness is more small or big, and also these colors. So remember, anything here closer to black will be super shiny, and anything here is white, as you can see right now, it is going to be super rough. So just experiment with these colors. I'm just going to test them out for you. So as you can see, it's getting shinier, and here it's getting rougher. You can see it's super cool and amazing. I like it to be in the middle. And the brushed noise size, there is some details. You can see it is super tiny, but it adds a lot of details to it. And there is more stuff like here, grime, tiles size, if you want them to be small or big or anything. And as you can see, it is super customizable. And you have the detail, tiles detail. If you see some glitching, play with these two settings until it works perfectly, because there is some math going on with this material, so you need to tweak it a little bit. So everything is in this group. You don't need to go inside and see what is happening because it's a lot. So yeah, let's move on and see how we can create it. I'm not going to be creating it like 100%, but I'm going to show you the technique. So this is the base blend file, and here we have this reference image. So let's break this down. What you're seeing here is the same base object, but the way we handle the material makes a huge difference in how it looks. The first one is the base. Flat color, no texture, no detail, nothing. It's just a solid shader. While it might seem clean, it's also lifeless. This is what happens when you just throw a toon shader and stop right there. Now, here's where things start to change. In the second one, we've added a soft texture layer over the base color. This gives us some surface breakup, adds natural irregularities. Think of it like adding brush strokes going down like this, or hand painted noise, or just procedural noise that we are going to do basically with the noise texture. It makes the material feel organic. And finally, we added the detail layer. This includes hard lines, panels, grooves, anything architectural. We're stacking structure on top of texture. This gives the illusion that the material is part of a real scene, like a tiled wall or a metal panel. So in anime materials, you don't just slap a color and call it done. In some scenarios, that's the reasonable thing to do, like just base color and call it day. You build it like a painting. Base color sets the tone, surface texture gives the depth, and the detail lines, like we have right there, tiles, define the structure. And the beauty of Blender is we can control all of this procedurally. No Photoshop painting over stuff or doing, yeah, we might do that later on in the compositing, but as part of the material, we don't need to do that. You can even add more layers like edge highlight, gradient overlays, shadow masks, all of which help you match the look and the feel of anime backgrounds. So let's switch this to shader editor and start creating our own material. So let's select the cube, add new material, and let's call it anime wall material. I like this naming, just material. And I'm going to delete the principal PSDF because I don't need it. I want to see what things I'm making before plugging these into the principal PSDF or any other shader. So let's start first by adding the base color. And we need some varieties in color variation values, like a gray but more grayness. You know, like the value of the gray will be different in each spot. So to do that, I'm going to use the Voronoi. It gives us so many options. You have the distance, you have the color, and you have the position that I'm not going to use. It's just a vector value. We might use it for normal, maybe not now. So I'm going to start up by using the color, but right now it is hard, as you can see, harsh. Okay, it's the perfect naming for that. So we need it to be smooth, in a smooth gradient. We can actually use a color ramp and smooth it out using that thing, but it's not gonna work perfectly. But let's just switch it to smooth F1 and problem solved. And I'm going to add a mix color node and plugging this color into the factor of the mix color. And I'm going to use some values. So let's use this gray value and another gray value and see how that looks. And voila, that's working fine. And you need this to be mixed. If you use other blending modes, it might look weird. So yeah, we might switch these colors later on if we want and make different values for these. Okay, but for now it is a good starting point. And you can play with this roughness and details however you like, you know, it's up to you, but it's making a bit of differences. If you make the roughness 0, you can see it's just a slight, doesn't matter to me. I can just make it 0.5 as the default. And here the details matters, as you can see, but I want it to be just soft because I'm just playing the color details. And you can scale it up or scale it down however you like. I'm just going to make it as maybe big a little bit so we have more differences. As you can see, you can switch the distance metric to anything that you like, Manhattan maybe. other things that gives their different results. I'm going to stick with the default one, which is this thing that I can, and yeah. And now I want to mix this base color with like a brush texture, brushed noise. You can see in metal, like brushed metal, something like this. I don't have any references for you, but you might seen that in the explanation. So yeah, I'm going to start first with noise texture, because noise texture gives us this really cool brush texture. So as default, this is what the noise looks like. I'm going to use, by the way, the factor, because it's a black and white value. I like it. If we use the colored one, yeah, I don't like it, so I'm going to stick with the factor. So first, let's add the texture coordinate, because we want to distort it a little bit. Coordinate, and sets that to the object coordinate. And we need mapping, of course, to scale it. And let's go with we need X and Y both to be scaled down. So let's do a combined XYZ node, and let's use a value node for now. Okay, later on we are going to join this to, so let's use a value node, connect that into both X and Y, and Z should be 1, and these will be something like this. Okay, that works perfectly. I'm going to use I'm going to use a color ramp for that, so I can control it a little bit. Okay, let's see what's the difference between yeah, just slight difference, not that much. So let's stick with the factor. So let's make it like this, and obviously we need to play with the scaling like that, maybe like this, and we can make it even like this, and voila, that looks good. Before adding it with the color, let's create like some edge wear or dirt that's going coming from the bottom and the top, because of the weather. When rain goes over the surface, it creates like this effect. I don't know how to explain it, but let's create a texture coordinate. By the way, add this to your quick favorites, because I'm going to use it a lot. So right click, add to your quick favorites. So Q and texture coordinate. It's going to be simple. So I'm going to separate XYZ node, and we want to separate Z value, so we can create this gradient. And I'm going to add an add math node, so we can control the height of this gradient. I'm just going to move this. Okay, there is two ways to create this double gradient. So black in the bottom and the top, and the white in the middle. I believe we can do that with a color ramp. Actually, there is 3 ways to do that, not just 2. Oh yeah, we can do that with a color ramp. What is happening? So let's do ease to smooth out these things. Okay, that's amazing, but we don't have much control about how wide it is. Can we add a multiply? Yep, multiply works for this. There is a bunch of ways to do that. Okay, let's show you. Let's separate XYZ again, and let's do that with, it is hard and not like this one. So let's add another add math node. I want to show you every single method that I know about this. So Ctrl Shift D to add another one, and we want to flip this by multiply -1 to flip this up and down, and we can just add these together. Okay, sorry. Let's do multiply and multiply this with this, and voila, you can control each one of these on its own. Not like this one. This one controls everything, as you can see, but you can still control it with the slider. This one gives you the ability to add this to your group, so you can control it. What is, oh, sorry. So yeah, as you can see, you have the ability to control this thing, and you can flip it as you like. Yeah, cool. And you can add even like a map range, and do a smoother step to make it even smooth. You can add it again, to make it even more smooth. I have no idea, but that looks, this is really cool. So these are the ways I know. There is another way actually, which is like doing actually like another, or just the same thing, multiplying by -1 to flip the values. Okay, and do an absolute. Okay, the absolute turns the negative values to positive values, and right away you can multiply by -1 again. Oh, nothing's happening. Maybe do a map range at this point and just flip from 1 to 0, and yeah, it is flipped. You can do smoother step if you like, just smooth step. It's up to you, and you have still the ability to control these, but you can control them both. It's not as customizable as you want, but this setup is more good to me than this one or these things. So let's add them together to their own frames, and let's call them selections. So select that, F2, selection 1, and this one, selection 2. Move these out of the way because I don't need them. And this is selection 0. So F2, selection 0. This is the initial selection. So yeah, I'm going to add this with a multiply. So let's add a mix color node and do multiply, because I want to multiply this with this. Yep, and this value control the brightness of it. And of course, I don't want it to be just like this. I want to break it up a little bit. So I'm going to add or distort these coordinates with a noise texture to distort them so we can create some breakups. So let's add noise texture. I hope you are understanding what I'm saying. So I'm going to use the color. Okay, remember, colors is basically the same as vectors, so they can work perfectly. But flows is just a single values. They can't work with vectors. So remember, colors works with vectors. So let's use the mix color, or simply a mix node sets to vector. And I want to mix this vector with this vector. And this factor defines how the breakup will look like. If it's going to be a lot or small. And of course, you can still play with the position of these things. So yeah, this is perfect to me. This is a good edgeware. Let's name this Ctrl-J, F2, base color. And this one is going to be Ctrl-J. Let's move this one. I need it to be merged. Okay. This one is going to be brushed noise. I hope I pronounced this right. Okay. And I want this to go over the color. So again, let's multiply. Let's multiply this color first. Be in the bottom. And of course okay. Maybe this one is too black. Just a subtle amount. It's not going to be a lot. So yeah, this is reasonable. Oh, sorry, clamped. And this is the colors. Okay, this is a good starting point for this material. And by the way, save, and I'm going to save it, anime wall material, and save it in your desktop or any place. And now what I want to create is this. So let's go back to the reference image and see. So what I want to create is that grime that's going or growing from the bottom, which is a bit of noise. You know, it's a lot of noise. It is more in the bottom and less in the top. So how we can do that? And we basically did that, but we want only the bottom. So let's go back. And we can either, you know, like take one of these selections and work with it. So let's work with this one. This one is gonna work perfectly for us. Oh, sorry, I duplicated the wrong thing. So Shift D, and let's see this gradient. So we want only, so let's remove this. We want only the bottom, and we already get that. So we have a free gradient. So we wanna distort it. Okay, so how we can do that? There is multiple ways actually to create that noisiness that's growing from the bottom. So let's actually use a mix color this time. Mix color. And we are going to mix this coordinate with the noise texture. So let's plug the noise right down and see. Right now it is working, but we want this to be more of like noisiness. Okay, so we want this to be smaller. As you can see, we're starting to get there. Less of that, maybe like that. Okay, very good. This is too detailed, and I want it to be. I can actually mix two noise textures together and get the best of the two worlds. Yeah, I can mix it or even multiply them together and get a different result. As you can see, that's too much. Okay, anyways, that's looking good, and isolate it to be like that. Okay, pretty good, pretty nice. So this is a good starting point. Maybe this is going to be gray just a little bit, and afterward we are going to multiply that. So let's use multiply and multiply that. So basically this is the top and this is the bottom. I want it to be in the bottom. Let's see how that is going to look like. Perfecto, perfecto. And I can still control the height of this thing. I want it to grow. This is good. This is actually pretty good. So now, so actually we are getting there. I want just to create more heavy dirt from the top to the bottom. We can actually use the same gradient because it's working good for me. I'm just going to Shift D that and move it to the bottom here. And I'm going to do the same thing. Just remove this black slider, and I want to inverse this because I want it to go from the top to the bottom. And I'm going to distort it again with a noise. So actually, noise texture, I'm going to add it to my quick favorites. So Q and where is the noise? Noise texture. Very good. And I'm going to add a mix color again, just to mix these two coordinates. And let's use, okay, pretty good. And I'm going to add a color ramp here, just to make this contrasty a little bit. And add another color, or we have a color ramp, control the size of that. Pretty nice. So this is good. And we are working with multiply nodes a lot because we work with just black and white data right now. So let's Shift D that, plug it again. Yeah, and I want this to be on the top of our object. So let's see that. Okay, pretty nice. And we can still control the height of it. So it's going to grow a lot or less. Okay, so this is more heavier. Pretty nice. And actually, right now, we can move to more stuff. So now what I want to create is actually these lines. I want to create them. But first, okay, yeah, let me show you. First, we need to add a Voronoi because it's the node that will create for us these lines. So I'm going to go with the distance, and the calculation method should be distance to edge. And as you can see, it's like rock, but I'm going to play with this randomness, and that will gives us these squares. If you do other calculation methods will give you weird details or weird results, like this one. This one is kind of like about to work, but it's not the best. This one also will gives you just some circles, and the last one is pretty much useless. So yeah, perfect. And I'm going to press Ctrl T to add texture coordinate mappings, and I'm going to use the object coordinate. Right now, let's go and match how many tiles that we have. So 1, 2, 3, and half. So, and I already know what scaling that I'm going to use. So let's combine XYZ because I want this to be exposed for my group, and the Z should be 1 and these should be 0.4. 1, 2, 3, half, half. Okay, it's working perfectly. And I want this to be sharp, so let's add the color ramp. So add the color ramp and just drag these to the last. And as you can see, that creates this. Pretty good. If you want it to be beveled like this, you can leave it. I want it to be beveled because that gives a good illusion. Now, out of this, okay, let's shift D this. Out of this, I want to create some highlights because I want this to be emitting light. Okay, as we can see here, we can do that. Okay, let's go back. As you can see, there is some of these have highlights. You can fake the highlights. You can fake the bump. So how to do that? Let's go back to, and I'm going to take a copy of this and calculate the difference between them. I'm not going to do difference. I'm going to subtract one from another, not the vector math node. I want to use mix color instead because I'm working with colors, and calculate or subtract one from another. And the subtraction should be 1. And here we want to match the X with the X, and the Y is not going to be matched. Doesn't matter. You can just move one axis or you can move both. So let's start by 0.013 because I know it's working. 0.013. Okay, this one should be not the 0.013. Okay, this is giving us this thing. And let's do 0.01. That gives us this. This one, it doesn't matter. Or maybe 0.013. That gives this. Very good. This thing is going to do any differences? I don't know. At this point, I forget what I did. Let's do 0.04 because I remember I did that somewhere, but I don't. Okay, something like this. Okay, so now what I want to do is to distort this this pattern. So how to do that? Actually, we can work with this. Oh, sorry, I can actually work with this and distort this instead. So let's do that. Let's add a reroute node and let's multiply this result. Okay, let's add a mix color node and multiply this result with the noise texture and connect this to, oh, okay, factor, not a mix, multiply. Yeah, perfect. Let's add a color ramp and let's control T this because this is going to be the details for this breakup for this thing. We can actually play with it and we can make it really small at this point. But still, I want this to be affecting only these lines. So we need first to invert them. We can use an invert node so we can see what's happening. It is working. Sorry. But first, let's run this through a color dodge. I want to color dodge it with this same thing. And boom, we have this to be fixed. And we already can see that it's happening. Okay, we can control the size of this, and voila, we have some other noises. We can control their detail. Okay, so amazing. I like this. It's a good result. So let's do Ctrl J, and this is gonna be tiles breakup and details. Okay, I haven't named the other one. This one is going to be tiles bump slash highlights because I want to use. We can actually use the same thing to create another type of breakups. So let's connect this to a color ramp. Okay, this is going to be additional highlights. And I want to invert this color ramp because I want only the white parts and I want it to be thin. Pretty good. And I want to break it up with the same noise pattern. So Control C, Control V, select that, Shift, select these, Control C here, Control V. Amazing, sorry. Add a reroute node, and I want this to be, and we already see the result, and I want this breakup to be like this, and so these are going to be additional highlights. So Control J this, and F2, additional highlights, whatever you can call them. I'm too lazy to, but they have names. Oh yeah, they have names. I forgot. Sometimes I'm weird and I don't know. I don't remember things. So yeah, we have created these. This is breakups. This is additional highlights. Pretty nice. We can use them for different different stuff. Actually, now we are done with everything. I just want to create the edge highlights. Okay, if you work with Go engine or something like that, you have the curvature node. Or if you work with the NPR branch like I have here with the Blender 4.4, but I'm not using it because every one of you guys are working with the vanilla Blender. So I'm actually going to use geometry nodes to output a curvature map. So let's go to geometry nodes. You already have this, so don't worry about it. So you already have this curvature map and it's already prepared for you. And there is two methods of calculating this. So you can use unsigned angle or signed angle, so whatever you like. So let's go back to shader editor. So let's add it here in the shader editor. So let's add an attribute and simply copy this, Control C, Control V, and make sure it is on the geometry itself. And we need only one of these, either the color or the factor. I'm going to use the factor because I already extracted this, and look at that, looks amazing. And this is controlled, the width of this is controlled via this this bevel. Okay? Or you can run this through color ramp. Sorry, not gamma, color ramp. Please, color ramp like this. What is happening? Color ramp. Okay. I don't know. Sometimes blend. Okay, you can control it like this. And this is weird. This place here is weird. Okay, but I'm feeling it. It wasn't good, but I fixed that issue. Anyways, you can leave it as is like this, and we want to break it. So let's multiply this. So let's use a mix color, and we want to multiply this with a noise texture. So let's multiply it with a noise. Let's use the factor, and let's Control T this. Obviously, you need to choose the object coordinate. There is no worries when you use generated, because generated and object coordinates works with the object, but object coordinates is better than the generated because Blender is calculating things on its own sometimes. So let's use a color ramp here. So I highly recommend you guys to use shortcuts, because sometimes things doesn't work like however you. Oh, voila, that's amazing. I like it. This is a good edge highlight. So let's use another color ramp to make it also stronger. Can we use a multiply here? Okay, let's use a regular matte node. Use multiply. Is there here scale or whatever? We have power. Okay, let's use power instead and see. Yeah, power. So yeah, that works perfectly. Okay, so this is edge highlight. So Control J this and F2 and name it edge highlights. You can press N and label size. I should made an add-on, increase the size of these labels with only one click. Yeah, there is a lot of crazy add-ons that I to do by hand. Okay, now it's a matter of joining these things together. So additional highlights goes up there with the highlights stuff. And now let's introduce a principal PSDF. It's under the shaders and principal PSDF. And just connect it and see now what we are going to plug in. Okay, So now what I want is to multiply this with this thing. Okay, let's move this side here. Okay, let's move it to duplicate this. Multiply that with this. Let's try this. We want to see that while it's loading. Okay, very good. It's working fine. And what I want is to select this and do a mix instead of multiply, because I want to add some additional stuff. Highlights, as I said. Not additional highlights, but kinda. Okay, so let's use this mix, or yeah, this subtraction, and use it here as a factor for this mix color node. Let's give it a second to load. This one is going to be gray, but yeah, as you can see, so yeah, I want it to be more gray, more to dark, and obviously I need to play with this Z height, because add another 0. Yeah, it's working right now. Now it is working. You can add 2 if you want. Yeah, that's good. So it's working. Oh, it's working right there. It's working. We can add the other one as well as a mix if you want to. Let's use the other one. Oh, Blender crashes. This is what happens when you have a lot of nodes and they're getting smaller and smaller. Okay, the same thing happens again with one of these. You need to play with one of these, or maybe both of them. Okay, which one? Oh yeah, this one. Okay, let's do 5. Let's do another 4. 4, 4, 4, 1. Okay, something is really happening, but I don't know what. Yeah, let's play with this color ramp. Let's add 2. This is good. Let's do the same thing with the other one. It's either the X or Y, whatever. Yeah, it's not this. It's working right there. It's not working right here. Okay, let's leave it as is. Let's not add it. Let's remove this. I don't need it. Just one side. Let's work only with this. Yeah, it's fine. An additional highlight. And this one is going to be an emission. So let's mix this. Oh, before mixing things, let me see what I want to add as a base color and whatnot. So this as a default, it's working good. And obviously I want this result to go through a bump node and into the heights instead. And also another bump node where I want this breakup tiles as a height also, and connect this to the normal. See, I'm so sorry because this is a lot and I haven't saved control. Okay, so normals are working as intended. It should be just small a little bit. So distance is not working as I want. Oh, maybe this not used, or I can use one of them, either this one or this one. Okay, let's Control Z this. Let's Control Z, Control S first. Let's view this. Let's mute, and let's see only the result of this bump node. Okay, it's working, but it's not how I wanted. Let's go back into the Z component. It is working, but when we did this subtraction, it felt like it's either you can, yeah. So let's remove this and unmute this, and we are just going to use these broken lines. And obviously the distance should, what is happening? We have a lot of details right there, and in the other one, what is the problem? Nothing actually. I don't see any problems. Increase the size of the, and now it should work. Oh, and everything is gone. We want the same Z here to be the same as this highlight. Is this the highlight? The same thing. It's working fine. Yeah, it's working right now. The other side is not working as intended for some reason. What is happening? Like literally, what is happening? Let's do 1 here. After using the same values for this, yeah, it worked. Nice. So use the same Y value. Ctrl J. So these are highlights here, and these edge highlights. So let's use this. Okay, let's use this as an emission. Okay, let's see now. And obviously we are missing the roughness. I'm just going to fix that really quickly by just adding some roughness. Okay, that's working, I believe. Okay, what is the result? Oh, I'm not using the color. I was using the alpha. And now it should work. Yeah, it's working. And we can define the color by using a mix color node and plug this a factor, and one of them should be black and the other one should be a color. Okay, and let's see which one of them is going to be the color and which one. Perfect. And you can control this. So we are going to expose this to perfect. Now one emission is done, we are left with mixing an emission PSDF. So let's do emission, mix it with this using this factor of this additional highlights because I want them also, and the color can be chosen. Let's see now how it's gonna work. It is working because I already see perfect. And actually I can control this one because I don't want it to. Also I can control this color, and all of these can be controlled. I just exaggerated them. Let's use a value node to control both of these. Now we need roughness, so basically I can use one of these maps as roughness. Actually, let's use this brushed metal as some type. Okay, brushed metal, and also the other selection that's going from the top. Not this one, the other selection. Yeah, this one. So let's mix these together. I'll multiply this with this and use this as a roughness. And let's go all the way to, and we can add a color ramp so we can control the roughness. Or actually we can use a mixed color instead so we can expose them. What's happening? Blender, please don't crash. Okay, use this as a factor, and let's use some gray values and some kind of black values, something like that. Okay, amazing. I like the lighting of the material preview rather than using. Look at that, it's so fast to material preview and render. Okay, good. We can add also let's see the result of this. Okay, sorry, see the result of this. Okay, very good. I can use another noise texture to create some other slight bumps. So let's Control T this. So it's going to be additional bumps. Let's make it detailed a little. And this is going to go through another bump. And see now? So let's do additional bump. Increase the label size. Increase the distance. Oh yeah. So we can work with these together. So if you want to work with them. Somehow we have metallic stuff right there. I don't for my liking. We're just going to play more with these. Okay, where selection 2, maybe this selection should be like this. It was really intensive. It's looking fine here, but turn on. Does something change? And also I want to add a slight bit of ambient occlusion at this point. I like adding ambient. Let's add a color ramp, and let's. I believe this is the most complex material that I have made. Something is happening, but I don't know what is happening. Why it's not getting the outside or inside? Oh, amazing! I like this. Okay, let's see. Oh, the spotlight, the freaking spotlight. Yeah, it was just the freaking spotlight, and now it's working good. Now it looks. I'm just going to, yeah. Now it's the time to add these to a node group. The most confusing part that I will just leave it to you guys. I'm done with this. You can expose these parameters for you, so you can just And obviously now you can add maybe we have this like a rim line, like an we have clear coat. I don't like it because it's give you this plasticky thing. It's mostly used for water, maybe plastic, glass, things that you want to be like wet. You want it to be really shiny, really like that. You can use this clear coat. It's doing something right now. And obviously you have the specular. I want it because that increases the highlights material, and that looks amazing. You can expose all of these parameters for you. Obviously we have here is that thing. And now let's go to the world settings. Maybe let's use it as black, and let's switch to compositor. Let's use nodes. Let's enhance this a little bit to look. Let's use a glare node. Oh, the glare node has been, and let's use bloom. What is saying? Maybe. Okay. Highlights. Threshold should be something just to give you this dreamy glow. You have lens distortion 0.1, and obviously I'm going to use my flared add-on. So yeah, it's already prepared. What is happening? This should be just, I guess, when I just imported that, it crashed. So yeah, I can, distortion is too much. Maybe just like, I like it to be like this. So yeah, this is how it looks like in the render viewport. Let's do jitter, and oh my god, look at that. It looks amazing. I like it. I really like it. So save this and maybe add a Kuwahara node if you really want it to be like painterly. Use classic. Use anisotropic. Size to be 1 or 2. It's up to you. Oh, I like it. Sharpness is all the way up by default. This is amazing. And let's give it a test render. Okay, this is my flared. So let's give it a test render. If it crashes, I will end up the video right there. But let's hope it's not. Oh my god, it's really fast. It's really, 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 really fast. Look at that. It's really amazing. Let's do it without the, let's do it without the bump. So let's see with bump of 0. Okay, let's copy this value because I might need it later on. Let's use it with no bump. Oh my god, amazing. I like it. Maybe the highlights is too strong at this point. So value node. So let's name it highlights emission strength like this. Let's do 0.4 and let's do another render. Yeah, this is reasonable and it looks amazing. The flared add-on gives it like a really good, looks amazing. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you learned something. It was full of glitches, full of weird stuff, but hopefully you understand what I did right here. Yeah, without further ado, see you again soon with another new video.